Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards for today for the January the 3rd, 2017. Thank you for all the messages I got yesterday. Them cards, they weren't very nice, but they did relate to some of you, so thank you for that, and I hope I managed to steer you in the right direction of that. Now today, when we come to the cards for today, there's quite a few. I've two fell out with when I was pulling the original tarot. I pulled a normal Osho card and I pulled a Colette Baron Reid card as well, because I feel the Osho and the Colette Baron Reid are more our unconscious, or they're more the guidance. The tarot, I feel, is telling us what's going on, whereas the other two are telling us how we can tackle it, if that makes sense. So the first one that I got, like I say, I went to pull the tarot and two cards fell out together. So, I always read them. There's always an importance. And what we have is, we have the Two of Coins here and we have the Nine of Swords. So the Two of Coins, when I'm looking at this card, the first thing it is, it's like blockages. It's something has stopped the progress here. Now there seems to be quite a lot of confusion coming in as well, and a feeling of being torn. If we look at this guy here, it's like he's at a crossroads. He's sort of gone on his journey and then he's stopped. Okay, so there's two options. He can carry on in the way he was going, or he can go back. So it's like this card is about like trying to weigh up the pros and cons, and it's sort of maybe, I mean, in traditional tarot, when we have the Two of Coins, it's like a juggling act, trying to sort of balance the two. So with this, it's saying like, there might be one foot stuck like sort of firmly in the past here, but there's another one itching to move forward. Now, when I was looking at this, I'm getting like cat on a hot tin roof, where it's like, it's just jumping about, and nothing actually happening, because he can't stand there forever. He can't stand at this crossroads forever. Like I say, cat on a hot tin roof cannot stand there, because it will end up with its feet burned. So this is sort of like, it could be an uncomfortable place to be, I feel. Now, what I'm saying with this is, that foot is in the past there, and it's not totally fulfilled. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been this journey. So it's like setting your sights on something new, but then suddenly getting halfway and thinking, oh, right, okay, I want to turn back. I don't know, has anybody ever done it on a roller coaster? I hate roller coasters, and one day I actually got right up the ladders to the top of this roller coaster to go on, and then just suddenly freaked and thought, I can't do it, I'm really scared of heights, and I just can't do it. But then the sort of embarrassment and the humiliation of having to turn back round and go, and I was stuck in this limbo, and it was really horrible. And this is what I'm sort of getting here, so it's like that foot stuck and it's not happy, but there's also being scared of taking that risk and going forward, because when we go forward in anything, when we go into the unknown, that's exactly what it is. It's unknown, so we take away any familiarity, and we take away anything that is our comfort as well, so you step out of your comfort zone, and this can be so scary, but it's like, I don't know, nothing ever grows in your comfort zone. So it's like, if you want, always, what is it? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got, so that's it, that if you're there, that is what you are going to get. However, you don't know what's ahead. And there's a bit inconsistency. That seems to be a word that's coming through in this. Now, if we look at the guy there, what I thought was interesting is how his hand's up. And it's like, stop, stop, that's it. He suddenly like pulled the brakes on here, Now, what I think is interesting with this card as well is, like I say, if he carries on that journey here, there is a tree. Now, I mean, within a journey like that, a tree can be your shelter, a tree can be somewhere where you rest and take stock. But I don't know if any of you can see it. I don't know if it's meant to be there, but to me that looks like it looks like there's another sort of figure sitting under the tree as well, you know. And what I'm getting there, what they're saying to me here is branching out, you know. So, like I say, this card, it's a real, I'm sort of like, oh, what do I do? You know, that is the thing. What do I do? And like I say, we're at this crossroads and he can't stay there. I mean, he could, but he would just wither. There's no food there. There's no nourishment. There's no shelter. There isn't anything. So he could stand there for however long he wanted, but nothing is going to change there. I mean, like I say, when we, you know, I'm trying to think if there's anything else on this. I mean, he's got his staff there, but he's not using that to protect himself neither, you know. I would, so yeah, you know what I'm getting with this when I'm actually looking, and sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. You know when they used to knock buildings down, in the olden days, and they used to use like sort of a big metal sort of boulder thing on a chain, and that was what would knock it down, you know, like sort of skittles. And that is what that is looking at to me. So what I'm getting with this is that it's about breaking down structures. Yeah, not breaking down buildings, breaking down structures. And I feel that is what is needed to do in order to make this decision on which way you are going to go. You know, is it that way? Is it that way? So like I say, you know, a lot of confusion coming in, a lot of blockages, things stopping your progress with this card. It's like somebody's just pulled the brakes on, if that makes sense. So it's a feeling of going nowhere, you know, going nowhere, you know. He's stuck. He's stuck where he is. Now, what came in then, the next one that fell out was this, the Nine of Swords. And I don't like this. You know what? I really love this deck. But the cards that I'm pulling for it lately, I'm not liking them. But, you know, like I say, I've got to read what comes out. The first thing that I got with this was like the Sword of Damocles, you know, and this is sort of something just hanging over your head with a threat that it is going to fall all of the time, you know. So what has happened with this person? They are under threat. That's what I'm feeling. And I feel that there's a big feeling very overwhelmed with this, because there is a lot of worry here, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. If we look how dark the sky is, it's practically black, you know. So this is often a card of depression. It's sort of the wolves at the door. It's really, you know, it's not a nice card. It's not a nice headspace to be in. And this often comes in when we have a difficult choice that needs to be made as well, you know. Now, within this card as well, there's a real feeling of isolation as well, feeling very on your own with all of this craziness in your head, you know. And it just seems like everything seems to be coming from all angles here. What I also feel with this, which I don't like, and I do think it could be in some way linked with the card yesterday, is when we are vulnerable like this, when we are in a place of, you know, like I say, feeling very down, feeling very black, feeling very lost, we can become quite timid with this. And within this card, it's sort of like, you know, I don't feel this person has the strength to defend themselves. So there could be a lot of gossip, there could be a lot of slander, there could be a lot of name calling or things like that. It's sort of like, you know, when I said yesterday with the card, it's like kick them when they're down. And this is what I'm sort of getting with this. Now, what I feel is interesting with this as well, which has just came in, if we have a look, if we look at the feet there, he's, like I say, he's got one foot stuck in the past, one foot itching to go forward. In this one, it's the same. You know, he has one foot tucked there, but this one is sort of like it's on the bare grass. Now, I was reading a thing yesterday about earth walking and how by being barefoot and walking on earth, how it actually instantly grounds us. You know, I'm barefoot all of the time, you know, and I had to put shoes on the other day to go out, and I really struggled with it. I just don't like it. So, like I say, this is about grounding yourself in your truth as well, you know. And I mean, this is like sort of, I'm just getting there, the Beatles song. I was going to say this is like sort of being on a hill. And I'm getting the Beatles song "The Fool on the Hill." Now, you know, the fool isn't foolish. You know, we love the fool. Anybody that knows tarot knows the fool is breaking free. It's a new beginning. It's a zero. It's a starting again. I'm trying to find the words to "Fool on the Hill" there. Sorry, if any of you know them words, you know, then please feel free to look them up. I'm gonna I don't want to actually do it now, but yeah, that's what I'm getting. The fool on the hill for some reason. I'm gonna see if I can find them quickly. Yeah, sorry, that's really strange because I think it's got quite a sad connotation, hasn't it? Yeah, day after day, alone on a hill, the man with a foolish grin is keeping perfectly still. Nobody wants to know him. They can see that he's just a fool, and he never gives an answer. But the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head see the world spinning round. Well, on the way, head in a cloud, the man with 1,000 voices talking perfectly loud, but nobody ever hears him, or the sounds he appears to make. And he never seems to notice, right? Okay, that's quite nice. Make of that what you will, you know, yourself. But that is what came in there. But I don't think in a bad way, you know. Like I say, the fool within tarot is good. But I back to the card there. Sorry. So with this card, it's like, you know, I'm getting in, like I say, I'm getting in isolation, depression, repression as well. You know, I mean, a lot of times when we are suffering, I had a really good conversation with a friend about this the other night. And it's a lot of times, you know, I mean, I've mentioned Marianne Williamson. She talks that we're in this collective depression. But a lot of times it's our circumstances, it's our situations. Depression itself is when we have a chemical imbalance within our brain and we're not producing serotonin. But a lot of times we can be put under the label of depression, or we can feel that we have depression or whatever because our circumstances aren't good. So that is more like a repression, you know, than a depression. And there's so many people sort of are victim to that at the moment as well. And like suddenly, you know, like people go on holiday and they go, oh yeah. So these people that have said that they're depressed or whatever can go on holiday and be great. And then they come back to their old life and their old way of being, and then they're depressed again. That is not depression, you know, that is just living a life that doesn't make you happy, you know. So rather than having to look forward to a 2-week holiday once a year, try and make a life that you don't need a holiday from, you know. So if you have a life where you are enjoying yourself every day and, you know, you're not feeling this darkness and blackness, then, you know, you're not going to need a holiday to escape from it, if that makes sense. So, sorry, what I'm getting in here as well with this card, so sorry about this, it's why are you torturing yourself, this card is saying, because there's so much anxiety coming in with this card, you know, and a lot of overthinking, I think. I mean, I think there's reasons there for overthinking, but I feel like it's just, it's tumbled. I'm sort of getting like my head being like a tumble dryer. It's going this way and it's going that way, you know, and it's just everything is getting jumbled up. So there's a real feeling of confusion, a feeling of despair, you know, and just totally being tied up in knots. And I really feel that this tightness will be through the body as well, you know. What this card is often saying as well when this is coming in is that there's no reason to feel like this as well, you know. Things are not as bad as, you know, they may be in your head. You know, I'm not saying that the feelings aren't real, and I'm not saying the situations aren't real, but what I'm saying is when you look at them internally, and you're going over and over the same way with the same way of thinking, then this is what can actually, you know, drive us to this anxiety and this despair. There's a quote that came in with this from an amazing book. If anybody hasn't read it, it's called The Untethered Soul, and it's by Michael Singer, and it is such an amazing book. I feel that and A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Anybody having problems with their thoughts, please read them, because, you know, they are two of the best books I feel that they're written. They should be taught in schools. And the quote that Michael Singer says with this is, only you can take inner freedom away from yourself or give it to somebody else. Nobody else can. There is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice in your mind. You are just the one that hears it, you know. And that's it. You know, we are listening. We tune into our mind. And you think, how many times has your mind been wrong? You know, how many times? You know, it's been right before, but how many times is it wrong? If we actually wrote down everything that our mind says to us on a daily basis, you know, there isn't a massive load of truth. We all have crazy thoughts within this, you know. So this card is saying that because of fear, frustration and exhaustion and uncertainty, that is the main thing, you know. It's like you don't know whether you're coming or going. You know, that your sleep could be affected as well, you know, because when this card comes in, it often talks about mixed sleep, and also maybe having some crazy dreams. What I'm being told here is, please try and take note of your dreams. What is happening in your dreams? Because a lot of times when our head is in this crazy conscious fog, it's our subconscious then that tries to give us the answers, you know. So really be aware of what your dreams are saying, you know, and also share these feelings with somebody. Let somebody know that how you are feeling as well, rather than keeping this. Because sometimes just actually voicing the words of something can actually make you realize how ridiculous it sounds, you know, as well. So just actually coming out with something, it's sort of like, right, whereas when it's in your head, it actually makes sense, you know. And what Spirit are saying with this card is, please stop blaming yourself as well. I really feel that you are really being hard on yourself when this card is coming in. Another quote from The Untethered Soul is, people tend to burden themselves with so many choices, but in the end, you can throw it all away and just make one basic underlying decision. Do you want to be happy or do you not want to be happy? It really is as simple as that. Once you've made that choice, your path through life becomes totally clear. So that's it. You know, we get all of this confusion. We get all of this fog, you know, and it's, do I want to be happy? Or do I want to be unhappy? And that is it, you know. That choice will become a lot clearer, you know, if you make that decision, you know. So it's not all of these crazy things and, you know, 20 different options that you can bring in. It's, do you want to be happy or do you want to be unhappy? You know, that it's simple as that, you know. So, like I say, by being like this, by closing off, you know, everything just seems to be coming from all angles here. And you need to remember that you are in control of your mind here, you know, and you can take that control back at any time. There are so many ways that you can actually look at your thinking, you know, as well. I mentioned, I had a meeting yesterday. I mentioned that I'm going to Iraq in April, and the meeting was about taking EFT there for the children. So when the children are having a bad thought, we can instantly give them, you know, EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, which is a tapping, and it looks really crazy, but it's absolutely fantastic and very good. And all it does is really divert our thought pattern, you know. So like I say, you can take back control of your mind at any time. Things will get better, and they're not actually as bad as what they seem at the moment. So this card is saying, please have faith. Please believe in yourself, and please let your light shine as well, because you're in the darkness there, and that light needs to shine a little bit just to guide you where you need to be. So, you know, listen and trust. And like I say, your dreams are very important at the moment. So, right. Then I pulled an Osho card. Sorry, I never shut up there. And I pulled an Osho, which I was quite surprised about when I first seen this, but then it makes sense once I started to read it. The Osho card is ripeness. It's a beautiful card, you know, and it's the 9 of rainbows, you know. So it's a really, really nice card, this. And what this card is saying, that it's a great time now to like reflect outwardly. You know, it's saying that you have learned a lot and you have developed. So, like I say, stop giving yourself a hard time. That is really really coming through strongly here. So it's saying it's time to take an idea forward now. And it's saying that there's no time like the present, whatever it might be. So it's sort of saying, like, up until now, you may not have felt ready. You may not have thought it was the right time, if that makes sense. But this is saying it's time to bite the bullet and do it. As much as you might not believe it, you have matured a lot. You know, we all have. Sometimes we don't realize how much we have grown as well. And what this is saying is, you know, this is now time to fall away from the tree. You know, it's now time to fall away from that tree, and to not the fruit in this does not need to depend on the tree now as a sort of crutch, or, you know, it doesn't need the tree in order to succeed. You know, that's what it doesn't need. So it's like fallen away from this structure that has given you stability for a while. You know, so it's now time to do things your way and for you to call the shots as well. So it's saying that you've been going through a process, and this process is growing. This is what I've said. We've all been going through this process of growing, you know, and within this growing, it's also about letting go of things, you know, old habits, old processes, old people, you know, and stuff like that. And it's shedding. You know, there's been a huge shedding lately, you know, and this is all about shedding, and it's making your life fresh air, and it's allowing you to actually take care of business and to get on with what you want to do. So it's a transition. And once we stop being hard on ourselves, and once we actually decide which way we're going to go, what we will find is that we are lighter in some way as well, you know, and we are individual. This is it. It's about standing in your own power, you know, and being able to be confident in yourself and in where you want to go and what will make you happy, you know. So it's like with this, it's sort of stop looking over your shoulder for approval from other people or something, you know. You don't need that. So this is saying put your energy where it naturally wants to go. So it's sort of like a graduation, you know. And within this card, it says that when you follow what's in your heart, nothing will hold you back from the happiness you deserve. And that's what I've just said there, you know. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be unhappy? It's entirely up to you. Now Osho says within this card, only if your meditation has brought you a light that shines in every night will even death not be a death to you, but a door to the divine. When the light in your heart, with the light in your heart, death itself is transformed into a door and you enter into the universal spirit. You become one with the ocean. And unless you know the oceanic experience, you have lived in vain. Now is always the time and the fruit is always ripe. You just need to gather courage to enter into your inner forest. The fruit is always ripe and the time is always the right time. There's no such thing as the wrong time. So what Osho was saying there is that, you know, this is, you know, you can wait for the right time, but there's never going to be a dot on, all right, okay, today is the perfect day or something like that. That isn't going to happen, you know, as much as we would like it to. You know, it would be great if we could have a universal clock that just said, right, okay, this is time to do that, but it isn't. But like I say, by falling away and by pursuing happiness, you know, that is I feel that the key, you know, with that, you know. And there's another, the Wayne Dyer thing, you know, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? It's entirely up to you, you know. So, sorry, I had a little bit of a heavy night last night, so I apologise for being a little bit rough this morning. So yeah, so when we have this card, I've pulled a Colette Baron Reid one just for the end because I always feel these just give a nice little bit of clarity here, you know. And the card I pulled, I actually took a sigh of relief when I seen it. It was like, oh, it was just like a real cool breeze coming over me. I don't know if any of you get that from that card, but it is such a beautiful, beautiful card here. And it's called Imagine. And what this talks about is, again, our mind, you know. Now, you know, I've mentioned before, you know, this has all been about our mind. And this card is saying, like, who do you want to be, you know, and what do you need to believe in order to have that life that you want? So, you know, what is it you want? And again, they're all tying in. This is what I love about tarot. So it's saying that we were given a gift of imagination as well. So rather than using our head to go through all these thought processes that tangle us up and everything, you know, why don't we use our head to dream and to, you know, be able to put things the way that we want them to, you know. So when we have our feelings and our thoughts with our aspirations as well, you know, things can things can happen, and we can. I mean, manifestation, some people don't believe in it, but it is true. You know, it's been proven. Everybody that manifests actually has seen results from it, you know. So it's like it's sort of like a magic process where the universe is there wanting to give us exactly what we want, but unless we are clear on what we want, then it can't give us it, you know. So this is about making our dreams reality, not our nightmares, because that is a card of nightmares here. So it's actually making our dreams a reality. And I did mention dreams before as well, so I don't know if you've been dreaming stuff lately, but be aware of your dreams. Now, when I mentioned before about graduating as well, we can see here it's sort of like he's taken the steps. And I mean, look, I really wish you could feel this card, and it's sort of like there's a fine thread here from the moon. I don't know, did anybody see the moon last night? We had sort of the crescent moon, and you could see Venus right next to it. It was so beautiful. I was coming home, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and the moon was very much that shape. So it's saying here, you know, there, allow the moon's energy. We have got a new moon as well, haven't we, in the next couple of days? Sorry, I'm still a bit behind with the holidays, but this is it. Allow the moon to illuminate your way. And if we remember, the moon is also fears as well. So it's, you know, rather than looking at them in this scared sense, look at it as this is illuminating, and this is helping us to get where we need to be. So it's basically, if you can dream it, you can do it, you know. So it's a really nice card here, and it's like you have the power to be whatever you want, and it's spend time daydreaming. You know, I read a great article the other day where it was saying about ADHD, and it was talking about children with ADHD, and it was like at one time it was called daydreaming. You know, yeah, look at him, his head's in the clouds, and that's it. Your head is perfectly, you know, it's fine to have your head in the clouds as long as your feet are on the ground. And, you know, these people that have their dreams, that experience their dreams, that actually go on to live their dreams are all people who at one time were called daydreamers, you know. They were laughed at, they were scoffed at, you know, people told them they were wrong, that would never happen. But they persevered because they had this vision, and that is how they got there. I mean, Walt Disney went bankrupt 7 times trying to get Disneyland off the ground, you know. But he didn't give up with it. He didn't give up at the first hurdle. He didn't give up at the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. The 7th, he actually, you know, that he broke through. And this is it, you know. It's don't let your dreams be quashed, you know. To live without dreams is to live without a future. And you know, it's you have to have a dream. You do have to have a dream. So like I say, with this card, it's coming in there. You may say I'm a dreamer. From the song Imagine. I mean, Imagine is such a beautiful song. We've got the Beatles today, haven't we? The Fool on the Hill and John Lennon there. So I don't know what that is in connection with. Yeah, sorry, I don't know that. But if we look at Imagine is such a beautiful song, you know. And basically what that song is about is it's taken away ego. You know, it's taken away ego. And just being with our soul and our spirit self, and that is when, you know, we will find this heaven. So please don't stop dreaming. You know, dreamers are the ones that do. They're saying there, yeah, dreamers are the ones that do make a difference. So I hope that made sense to you in some way. I feel that there's something I'm not saying here, but it's not coming through. If it does come through, I will do another video, or I'll add it in words to the end, because I'm really feeling there's something I'm missing with these cards here, but I can't. I'm not getting it at the moment. Like I say, sorry, it was a bit of a heavy night last night, so. You know, maybe that's it. I need another cup of tea before I actually, before my brain kicks in properly. So I hope that these cards made sense to you. A lot nicer than yesterday, although they're still, I feel, in the physical, and I feel in your world, although I still feel there's a lot of indecision, isolation, depression, repression, confusion, all of this. When you are tapping into spirit, and spirit are giving the messages, the messages are beautiful. So it's like, you know, things are not as bad as they may seem. Just if you get out of your head, ask Spirit for answers as well. You know, go into a meditative state and see what comes through. Listen to your dreams. And I feel that there is, oh look, we've got the crescent moon on that one as well there. That's I've just seen that. So yeah, you know, I don't know when this new moon is. I'm going to have to check that out. But I do feel there's change coming, and I feel Spirit are supporting you as well, you know. So please don't worry too much, you know. Just try and get out of your head, because I feel that is where the most confusion is. And we always feel the most confusion when our head is trying to tell us something that our soul knows isn't true. Okay? So like I say, it's, as Michael Singer said, do you want to be happy or do you not want to be happy? And that, I think that's the question to ponder on today, or to meditate on as well. Okay, so I hope you like them. Have an absolutely fabulous day. If anybody would like a reading with me, please get in touch on either my Facebook page or my website. The links are below. The readings are going up slightly next week, so it's, you know, it's a good time to get in and get them booked before the slight price rise. And I have got availability at the moment, but have a fabulous day and try and not worry too much. You know, things will be okay in the end. And also have a look at it as well. I seen something the other day about the 5-5 rule, and it's like, if this isn't going to matter in 5 years' time, then don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. Okay, so just try and predict 5 years' time. You know, the problems that you're having today that are really beating you up, will they still be as important? If they're not, then just let them go. Like I say, you know, our life is a gift, and being happy is, it's a birthright, to be honest. It is, it's our birthright. Okay, so have a fabulous day, and I'll see you tomorrow with the cards of today. Satnam.